Hello wonderful people, the Ashes of Ariandel DLC is finally out. From Software introduced new weapons, lore, and bosses, and much more. One of the bosses, Friede, is a very interesting character. Of course, From Software are as vague as they can be when it comes to their story. What we know for certain is that she's one of the 3 sisters that founded the Church of Londor. So she is Yuria's sister, an NPC we meet in the base game. What I knew for certain when I first fought Friede, which by the way gave me a Lady Maria vibe, is that I need to use her scythe ASAP rocket. When I finally got it, damn, it delivered. This is officially my favorite weapon in the game at the moment, and the reason for that is it feels the more you master this weapon, the better you get, which is not something you find commonly in Dark Souls 3. In the contrary, using Karthus Noob Sword, Follower Saber, Straight Swords, Gargoyle Flame Spear, and in general, deadly fast weapons won't help you improve at all, as you will keep doing the same strategy over and over, which means you will never leave your comfort zone. But this scythe is just different. You can be as deadly as meta weapons, but it requires your commitment. And this is one of the things I love about skill weapons. If you're bad with it, you'll be crushed. If you took your time with it and learn when to initiate certain attacks, you'll dominate. So in this video, we will look at Friede's scythe in depth. So, without further ado, let's begin. In order to obtain Friede's scythe, you need to defeat Friede in the painted world of Ariandel and then transposing her soul with Ludleth in Firelink Shrine. This is easier said than done, as I played her solo on NG+3 and she kicked my ass. It took me like 7 tries in order to nail the final phase, and picking up a fast weapon goes a long way in this fight, especially in the last phase. I just wish we can be as badass as her animations and magic and spells and an overall feeling is just super awesome. Doing a build has a totally different meaning from one person to another, but in this video I will concentrate on a character with a soul level of 125, with Pyromancer being the starting class. The most important thing on this build is to have at least 14 dexterity and 14 intelligence, as the weapon has A scaling for both of these stats. The rest is up to you. You can add more intelligence and attunement points so you can cast sorceries while using this weapon, or instead just increase endurance and vigor and maybe also vitality to increase your survivability. My preference is to have more survivability while having one spell, and that's a new Frostbite Mist spell, which has static Frostbite buildup. Your intelligence stat won't make it better, and it works perfectly with this scythe, as this scythe inflicts Frostbite on every hit. Also, with 40 dexterity or more, you can use all the dexterity weapons. Having another weapon with you is always good in any case. I was using the Crow Quills with this, as I love its moveset, but it's up to you really. This scythe has one of the most varied movesets in the game. Its two-handed attacks concentrate more on long range, while the one-handed moveset is focused on short range. The two-handed version has 3 unique attacks in a row on its R1s, and the third one is very good in roll catching. Other notable attacks are the one-handed R2, which is also very good against people who like to stay in close proximity. Now of course, the elephant in the room is its weapon art, and this is what makes this weapon super awesome, and it is the reason this weapon might be one of the more popular PvP weapons. You have 2 options when you press the weapon art. When you use R1, it gives you access to a whole new moveset. It's a 3R1 combo and it does multiple attacks, and it doesn't consume any focus points, which is a huge plus for this scythe. It also grants you hyper armor, one of the most important things to have in this game, especially on a fast weapon like this, and I think without the hyper armor on this weapon art, this weapon wouldn't have been as good. Another thing that is super important is that these attacks cannot be parried. And as most PvPers know, that the Scythe class is one of the easiest to parry, so this weapon art will severely punish parry spammers or just about anyone who tries to parry it. When you press R2 after the weapon art, you release a frostbite AoE right in front of you. This is really good for controlling the pace of the fight, as getting hit by this attack is deadly. You do moderate damage but will most likely frostbite your opponent. Now let's start with the tips and tricks. You always have to capitalize on the strengths of the weapon you're wielding and try your best to mitigate its weaknesses in Dark Souls 3. One of the biggest factors in PvP is guaranteed combos, which means once you start the combo, your opponent won't be able to do anything until you execute the whole combo, and damn, this weapon has many guaranteed combos. Of course, first thing is you can do 2 R1s in a row in either stance like all other weapons, but this Scythe has more. When two-handed, if you miss your first attack but you hit the second, you can follow up with the third one guaranteed. And to be honest, I don't know if any other weapon can do this in the game, so you can bait the first attack and then punish on the second and do the combo. Another combo is R1 and then R2, or light attack and then heavy attack when two-handed. This is awesome, but some other weapons can do that too. Another combo is R1 into a jumping attack. The only weapon I can think of now that can do this too is the Cathedral Ultra Greatsword, but you have to be very close in order to do this combo. The weapon art into an R1 has a 2-hit guaranteed combo, but technically more than that, but it will require you to just press R1 twice. You can also do a weapon art R1 once and then a standard R2. It's a guaranteed combo too, so in essence, this weapon has a ton of combos. It actually may have the most combos in the game. You can really control the pace of the fight with this Scythe, especially when you pair it with a Frostbite Mist spell. You can use the weapon art R2 to give yourself more time to get back on track, because most people will just back out of the AoE, but you can always follow up with the weapon art R1 since it lunges you forward with a lot of momentum. You can still catch people easily while they try to roll back to safety. This works wonders when you use it after a standard combo, like when you use R1, most people will roll back, but you use the weapon art after that to catch up with them. It works really well. So all in all, never trade when using the standard moveset, always try to outrange your opponent and always be cautious of parries. When you need to trade, use the weapon art. It's really good against fast weapons and parry spammers. So that's all for this weapon review. Let me know if I missed something with this weapon and let me know what you think about it. I would also love to know what you think about the DLC. Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as I will be uploading a ton of content from the DLC. So, see you next time. Farewell.